Here's the next set of releases and updates I missed, beginning with the Miniversary update for Mini Metro and Mini Motorways, which celebrates the 10-year anniversary of the first game, where there are all sorts of crossovers between two excellent strategy simulator titles. You're getting 3 maps each being brought in both directions, with train stations being added to Mini Motorways as well, so it's a wonderful celebration of these games which are excellent. There isn't an official trailer for Stacklands Cursed Worlds, so I just have screenshots where this is a paid DLC to an insanely popular card-based management sim, adding 3 new cursed worlds in sadness, greed and death, with a bunch of new cards and quest objectives, making it a must-get if you loved the original. This video is brought to you by Affogato, a gorgeous-looking story-rich RPG title with a very curious reverse tower defense mechanic and anime graphics which just released today on the 17th of August. You play as a sorceress who is managing a cafe, getting to know all sorts of characters who walk in the door, and eventually travel into their minds to help them fight their inner demons, which is where the combat comes in. You are leading a snake of characters as they venture through the maze, choosing your route carefully along with the well-timed use of abilities through cards. The magical city of Eternal Night is also a fascinating setting where you're able to go out and explore, but do have to blend that in with managing the cafe and the whole barista coffee making aspect as well, looking to be kind of like Persona meets Coffee Talk, but with the aforementioned reverse tower defense mechanic. Additionally, the developers are running a Steam key giveaway for this game on Twitter, so head on over to their profile to join the excitement, link in the description below, and in the meantime head on over to Steam to check out the game if interested. A clever way of thinking about indie game design is to take a smaller part of a big game and then to expand and blow that section up into its own thing, where of course Save Room the Merchant is an inventory management puzzle game that draws inspiration from Resident Evil, complete with creepy merchant character and all, where you need to rotate and place these items in your inventory, sell the scrap, and purchase items needed to complete the level, so it is rather basic but interesting nonetheless. Vampire Survivors style games are overdone, but I do want to mention the 1.0 release of REMEDIUM Sentinels, which launched out of early access, since this is actually a spin-off of an in-development grimdark action-adventure game by the name of REMEDIUM, where according to a little bird, we should be getting some news soon, where this is of course set in the same universe with an alchemical twist. By Vampire Survivors clone standards, it is not that popular, but it is what one would expect with a different theme. I was pretty surprised to see A Dark Room pop up on Steam, since this is a popular browser-based, text-based RPG from 2013, so the timing of a Steam release is strange and has not done well in terms of sales, where perhaps its value proposition is not clear since I don't know if there are any differences between this version and earlier releases on browser, iOS or Switch, and it is perhaps 10 years too late and is not a Dwarf Fortress-like situation. We also have the 1.0 release of this game, which is fun to say since UEPS 2 or Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator 2 is a sandbox simulation title in which you simply plop down units on both sides, hit play and watch the chaos unfold. Mind you, these are not just medieval soldiers or modern military units, although it is fun to pit legionnaires against riflemen to see what happens, but there are all sorts of wacky things like knockoff Kool-Aid Men, zombies, Jedi and more, unofficially of course through Steam Workshop support, where for the scale of battle and the number of units on screen, this does perform surprisingly well. It does follow in the footsteps of games like Totally Accurate Battle Simulator and the host of clones that followed, where it's a good one of these and is really soothing to chill out to.
Cassie, I hope you get this message. I'm trapped here at the Pizzaplex, or what's left of it. I don't have time to go into how I got here, but you've got to help me out.
Apparently, Five Nights at Freddy's is still a thing, with Security Breach being a popular spin-off, but they just released a free story DLC titled Ruin, which has an astounding 3,000 plus Steam reviews as of recording. Now, I'm not into mascot horror games, so I cannot tell you what this is about, since the description on the store page just babbles on about different characters, but hey, it's free, so check it out if you love Freddy. A neat strategy game that released in early access earlier this year is Toy Tactics, where the developer just released the Pirates Fury update. This of course adds a new pirate faction with new units, animals, a new setting in the Caribbean and more, but I do love the art style of this game, which is very much in line with the toy in the title, where the units are tabletop miniatures, complete with their own base and so on. It is about strategy and formation as well as army composition, where it's relatively underrated, so do give it a go. Of course, Xanthiom Zero got my attention, since this is a retro pixel art mini Metroidvania having a wonderful minimalist look and reminds me of Environmental Station Alpha. You are exploring an uncharted planet and delving deeper and deeper into the planet's depths, where apparently this has over 70 items and an interesting weapon upgrading system with over 5,000 weapon combos, which seems like a lot, where this game is just $5 and seems like value for money. Oh yeah, one more thing, this is also the prequel to their earlier title named Sidescape, which released in January this year, being a top-down action-adventure shooter title, so perhaps check that out as well. Ever since the overwhelming success of Dorfromantic, the tile-based city builder has certainly seen its fair share of clones as well, where Landnama is the latest entry and has sold decently, although it does currently sit at mixed reviews. You have to lead your Viking clan as they attempt to settle and survive, being a non-violent entry, which seems strange given the theme, since Vikings are known for raiding and pillaging after all. The art style is more grim and serious, but interestingly, there's only one resource to manage in this game and something called Heart. So it is certainly different in design.
We do not determine the guilty. We do not decide the punishment. We are merely the cold instrument of the Emperor's vengeance.
One of the not-so-secret best tactics titles is Warhammer 40k
Chaos
Gate Demon Hunters, a 40k XCOM-like title that is surprisingly good, where they have been releasing plenty of DLC, with the latest being Execution Force. Interestingly, this allows you to play as 4 new units who are Imperial Assassins as compared to the bulky Space Marines in the base game, so new strategy is required, but this game continues to impress. A fun co-op physics title is Heavenly Bodies, where you are maneuvering your way around a space station and have to do various tasks, all in that co-op-like funny physics kind of way. Following the addition of 4-player co-op support, which I have mentioned before, the latest paid DLC is titled Cleanup, which is technically set after the events of the base game and the events that occurred there, where you need to repair your station and to get rid of dangerous trash, being a decent chunk of content, clocking in at 3 to 5 hours.
A cozy farm sim
that has gone somewhat under the radar is Blue Oak Bridge, an ambitious looking title, but it just goes to show that copying Stardew Valley is not exactly a surefire way to success. This released out of early access and seems alright, with the expected farming, fishing, foraging, mining, animal raising, player housing and romanceable characters that this genre is known for. There is a little bit of a fantasy twist with the animals in this, so if you're in the mood for one of these, perhaps it will be of interest. I'm not quite sure where Portal Dungeon came from, since I only have a very vague recollection of this, where I might have covered it during indie gaming this week, but this is a roguelike platformer with a focus on combat and is pretty popular. This has 4-player co-op support, more than 12 playable characters and more than 100 items, so it seems alright and might be worth a look. I'm quite excited to share this title since it has been in early access for quite a while and just released out of it, where it's an auto RPG where you're unable to directly control the character, but it is not an idle game and you do have to strategically time the use of potions and items, also having a programming system for automation as well as an in-depth crafting system. I remember checking Stone Story RPG out back in early access and was impressed, but it seems to have been taken to another level, not to mention the impressive ASCII art as well, so it takes the #1 spot. We can find more of the best games of the year in this video.